The story begins in 19th century England with a 9-year-old orphan named Oliver. At that time, a church beadle named Bumble takes Oliver to the orphanage and introduces him to the officials in charge. The officials meet the boy and tell him he is an orphan. Oliver asks them, "What does orphan mean?" They told him, "It means you have no father or mother, and you came here to work. In return, you will eat, drink, and sleep." Olive cries because he feels they are cruel people. The next day, he is moved to the place where he will work with the other orphans. The official orders him to tie a knot in the rope, as these ropes will be used to build royal ships. Oliver learns from the boys next to him and copies them, but the orphanage treated the boys cruelly and gave them very little food. The boys were never full from this food, to the point that they could not sleep at night from extreme hunger. So they decided to draw lots among themselves randomly to choose a boy to ask the officials for more food at the next meal. Oliver realizes the choice has fallen on him. Although it is a huge risk, Oliver gathers his courage, goes to the official, and asks for more food. The official gets angry, hits Oliver, and chases after him. Beetle Bumble arrives at the place and meets the officials, who are furious that Oliver asked for more food, even though they have plenty of food in front of them. They decide to expel Oliver from the orphanage and offer him for adoption for 5 coins. A chimney sweep sees the ad and, needing an assistant for his work, goes to meet the officials and offers to adopt Oliver. It turns out this cleaner is a very cruel man. He tells the officials, "I will make Oliver sleep in the chimney and set fire to his feet so he wakes up and isn't lazy." Oliver's adoption case goes to court. The judge is about to sign for Oliver to work for the cleaner, but he stops when he sees that Oliver is nervous and upset. Oliver tells him, "Please, I don't want to be with that chimney sweep because he's a madman." The judge rejects the adoption case for the chimney sweep and orders that Oliver return to the orphanage and be treated well. Afterward, Bumble offers a man named Sowerberry the chance to adopt Oliver, and Sowerberry agrees. Bumble delivers Oliver to Sowerberry, who works as an undertaker and makes coffins. Sowerberry's wife, Julianish Choi the Adestinan, the hatterish but shady Beria of Julian, welcomes Oliver, but even she treats him badly and serves him dog food. Oliver has no choice but to eat it. Julian makes him sleep under Sowerberry's desk. It turns out Sowerberry adopted a boy older than Oliver named Noah. Noah treats Oliver terribly and tells him, "I am older than you, so you must listen to me without arguing." He keeps bullying Oliver. Sowerberry was the only one who treated Oliver well and took him along to children's funerals. Noah feels jealous of Oliver. At lunchtime, Noah asks him, "Where is your mother?" Oliver cries when he remembers her and orders Noah not to talk about her. But Noah insults his mother and tells him, "It's good that your mother died." Oliver cannot take it anymore, so he attacks Noah and starts beating him. Julian and the maid intervene, beat Oliver, throw him into that room, and lock him up until Bumble arrives. Julian lies and says, "We treat Oliver well." Sowerberry arrives and asks what happened. Oliver says, "Noah insulted my mother," but Julian defends Noah and denies he insulted Oliver's mother. So Oliver calls her a liar. Julian gets angry at that word and orders Sowerberry to hit Oliver. Sowerberry was a man who feared his wife, so he has to obey her and hits Oliver with the cane several times. Because of all this, Oliver realizes his life here will be hell. He decides to run away from Sowerberry's house, leave the village, and head to the nearest town. He sees a sign that the distance to London is 120 kilometers. Oliver begins his journey to London with very little food, drinking rainwater. While on his way, he stops when he sees this house and knocks on the door to ask for food. But the homeowner thinks he is a beggar and yells at him to leave. Oliver continues on his way with torn shoes and collapses from exhaustion. An old woman sees him and decides to care for him, making him food even though she has very little. She treats him very kindly and asks, "What are you doing alone on the road and where are you going?" Oliver tells her, "I have no home and I have decided to go to London." The old woman sympathizes with him and lets him sleep at her place for the night. The next day, Oliver continues on his way. After a week of traveling, he finally reaches London, feeling extremely hungry with his feet bruised from walking. A young thief named Jack spots him. He notices Oliver is a stranger to the city, so he introduces himself, learns he walked from a distant town, and offers to take him along. When he finds out Oliver is hungry, he steals some bread to give to him. He finds out that Oliver has no money and nowhere to sleep, so about Jack takes him to the house where he lives with other young thieves. Their leader, Fagin, welcomes Oliver, invites him to the table and offers him food food and drink. It turns out the child thieves steal valuables for Fagin. In return, Fagin gives them food, drink, and a place to sleep. Unlike the orphanage, Fagin treats the children well. When Fagin checks his valuables, he notices Oliver is awake and watching him. He goes mad and threatens to kill him, as no child can know about Fagin's possessions. But Oliver tells him, "I didn't see anything. I couldn't sleep." Fagin is convinced, calms down, and says, "Even if you saw my things, keep it our secret." Then Fagin and the kids start teaching Oliver how to steal. Oliver agrees and is ready. Fagin puts handkerchiefs, wallets, and a watch in his pockets. The children are supposed to steal these things from him without him noticing. Indeed, the children surround him and succeed in stealing everything. Oliver is amazed by their stealing skills. Then Fagin's friends, Bet and Nancy, walk in on them. They both admire Oliver because he looks like a respectable boy, and no one would suspect he is a thief. Then Fagin tests Oliver and tells him to try and steal his handkerchief without him noticing. Oliver actually succeeds in the test, and Fagin is impressed, telling him he has never seen a boy as clever as him and gives him a reward. Oliver could not believe his eyes, as this was the first time in his life he had ever held money. Fagin tells him to let Jack and Charlie be his role models so he can learn from them and become a great man. Fagin also gives him a pair of shoes, and Oliver thanks him. In the next scene, the children stole this bag of apples from the market. Then they decide to steal a handkerchief from a man named Mr. Brown. They see it as a golden opportunity because Brown is standing there reading a book. Jack stole the handkerchief and handed it to Charlie. But the bookstore owner saw the thieves and the kids ran off. Brown and the people in the street think Oliver is the thief, so they chase him. Every time people hear there is a thief, their numbers grow. Jack and Charlie were safe and no one chased them, even though they were the ones who stole. If finally someone hit Oliver and knocked him down, Oliver tells them, "I did not steal anything," but they do not believe him. The officer arrives at the scene and takes Oliver to court. Brown tells the judge that this boy robbed me. Oliver was exhausted from the blow he took to his face, but the judge thinks Oliver is faking it and asks him, "What is your name?" But Oliver could not speak and wanted to drink water. In the end, he faints, but the judge thinks this is acting and sentences Oliver to 3 months in prison with hard labor. But the bookstore owner intervenes and tells them Oliver is not the thief. "I saw the robbery. 2 other boys were the ones who robbed Mr. Brown. Poor Oliver was just standing there watching." The judge believes the bookstore owner and declares Oliver innocent. The officers take Oliver out of the courtroom. Brown feels sorry for Oliver and feels guilty for accusing him of the theft. He picks him up and puts him in the carriage to take him home. Meanwhile, Fagin is furious at Jack because Oliver was arrested. Bill, the owner of the house where they live, arrives and learns what happened to Oliver. Fagin is worried that Oliver might tell the police about the house or the thieves. Bill feels the same fear, so he orders Nancy to go to the court and find out exactly what happened to Oliver. Although she did not want to go, she had to obey Bill. She goes to the officer, crying and pretending she is looking for her little brother Oliver. The officer sympathizes with her and helps her, leading her to the officer who tells her that Oliver went to the house of a wealthy man named Brown, and he gives her Brown's address. Then Oliver wakes up and finds himself in a very beautiful house, and he loses consciousness again due to his exhaustion. Brown comes and asks his wife to take care of Oliver because Oliver has touched him, and Edwin tells him, "Oliver has touched me too." Then Brown decides to adopt Oliver, dresses him in clean, expensive clothes, and promises to send him to school to learn. He tells him, "You won't be alone anymore. I will stay with you and raise you because I trust you, but don't make me regret it." After that, Oliver burns his odd clothes because from now on, he will live a much better life. He becomes Brown's assistant and helps him with his work. Meanwhile, Bill and Nancy keep watching Brown's house, waiting for Oliver to appear so they can grab him. Then, Brown orders Oliver to return these books to the library and give the librarian this £5 note. Oliver is surprised, as it is his first time holding a £5 note, which was a large sum back then. But Brown was confident that Oliver was not a thief. Brown's friend thinks Oliver will run off with the £5 and never return. While Oliver is on his way to the library, Nancy grabs him and pretends to be his mother. Oliver keeps telling people she is lying, that he is an orphan and does not know her. Bet Bill comes and pretends to be Oliver's father, hits him, orders him to go home, grabs him by the arm and walks away. Then all the children make fun of Oliver's clothes, search him, take the books and the £5 from his pocket and hand them over to Fagin. But Bill gets angry and says, "I'm the one who found Oliver, so this £5 should be mine. Give me the £5 or I'll take Oliver back to Brown." Fagin gives in and hands him the £5. The boys get the books. Oliver is upset and wants to return the books and some money to Brown. He is worried Brown will call him a thief, but no one cares what he says. Suddenly Oliver runs off, wanting to alert the police. The children chase him through the streets. Fagin knew the area's streets well. Eventually, he catches him, brings him back home, and beats him with a stick as punishment. But Nancy intervenes and defends Oliver, telling him, "Leave him alone. You already got what you wanted. You stole my life since I was a child, and I won't let you do the same to Oliver." She raises her hand against Fagin, but Bill intervenes. After that, the children change Oliver's clothes, making him wear all tattered ones just like before. Then Fagin locks him in a room and shuts the door. The next day, Fagin brings breakfast to Oliver and talks to him calmly. He says, "We took you off the streets and saved you from starvation, yet you want to report us to the police. You are so ungrateful. You remind me of a boy who came here and I treated like my own son, but he ended up reporting us. We had taken our precautions, so the police couldn't pin anything on us. Unsurprisingly, the police killed that boy. Yeah, because the police now pass death sentences for the slightest reasons. I do not want that to happen to you. Listen to me so we can be friends again." He leaves the door open for him in case he wants to leave. Later, Oliver tells Jack and Charlie about the Brown house and how beautiful and huge it is. Jack tells him that if he stays under Fagin's command, he will have a house like the Brown house in the future. But Bill is still worried that Oliver might report them to the police, so he sends Nancy to bring Oliver to him. Nancy tells Oliver to be obedient to Bill or else you will hurt yourself. "I want to help you, but there is nothing I can do." Then Oliver arrives to Bill because Bill wants him for a specific mission and they are going to rob the Brown house. He tells him, "If you do anything I don't like, I will kill you with the gun." Then they both go to Bill's partner Toby because Toby will join them in the mission to rob the Brown house. They prepare with weapons, then they move out and sneak into the Brown house. Oliver begs them to let him go because he does not want to steal, but they cover his mouth and point a gun at him. Then Toby opens the window for Oliver to climb through and orders him to go open the house door. After Oliver gets inside, he hesitates to open the door, but Bill yells at him, so he goes to open it. Brown and his wife came out at the noise and Oliver ran toward them, but Bill shot him. Then he carried his body away and they fled before Brown could call the police. Bill wanted to kill Oliver because he was worried he would report them, but Bill accidentally falls into the river and calls out to Toby for help. However, Toby runs away because he is afraid the police will arrive. He returns to Fagin's house. Fagin and Nancy treat Oliver's wounds as the gunshot hit his arm. Toby tells Fagin that Oliver wanted to take us to Brown. Bill fell into the river, but I saw him swimming, so he must be alive. In the next scene, we see Bill in bed because he caught a cold. Fagin comes to see him and check on him. Bill tells him that as long as Oliver is alive, we will live in fear. "I won't rest until I kill him, and I plan to wait until he recovers. Then I'll take him and drown him in the river." Fagin agrees that this is the best solution, but Nancy loved Oliver very much, as if he were her own son. She decides to act to save him. She puts a sedative in Bill's drink. After Bill drinks it and falls asleep, she goes to Brown's house. Martin dash, but Brown wasn't there, and the one who meets her is Brown's wife. Nancy asks her to tell Brown that Oliver is innocent and did not mean to break into your house. "I want to meet Brown at London Bridge on Sunday night to tell him important information about Oliver. If I do not come on Sunday, have him wait for me on Monday and Tuesday." Then she leaves and walks away. Meanwhile, Oliver's condition improves and Fagin keeps changing his bandage. On Sunday night, Nancy gets ready to go to London Bridge. Bill wonders where she is going so late, but Nancy refuses to tell him. Bill gets angry and locks the door. Nancy begs him to let her go for just 1 hour, but Bill refuses and keeps her locked in. Bill still doesn't realize why she is so determined to go out tonight, but Fagin is suspicious of Nancy and orders Jack to follow her. Jack agrees. The next day, Brown meets Nancy at the bridge. She tells him Oliver is being held by Fagin. Fagin is an evil man who trains children to be thieves. She gives him Fagin's address. Brown decides to go and report it to the police tonight. He wanted to give her a reward, but she refuses because she did not do it for the money. It turns out Jack heard every word and he runs off to tell Fagin. At the same time, Fagin and Bill enter Oliver's room to kidnap him and throw him in the river, but Oliver interrupts them and tells them about Nancy. Bill gets furious and goes to Nancy, beating her until she dies. As for Fagin, he goes to the children and orders them to pack their things quickly because they are leaving. He then goes to retrieve his valuables. He thinks Oliver is still asleep, so he wakes him up and they leave. The next morning, Beth discovers Nancy's body. News of Nancy's murder hits the city papers. Bill is the prime suspect in the killing. Before she died, Nancy reported Fagin. Fagin is accused of kidnapping a boy named Oliver. The police are searching for them everywhere. It is known that Bill has a white dog named Bullseye. A wanted poster for Bill is hung in the street, and whoever reports him will get a reward of £15. Then Bill decides to get rid of the dog so no one can recognize him. He tries to strangle the dog, but it grabs the rope with its teeth and runs away. While Brown goes to report it to the police, the officer tells him, "I think we should look for Bill because he is the one who will lead us to Fagin." As for Oliver, Fagin and the others, they are hiding at Toby's house. Then Bill arrives and seconds later, they hear the barking of Bill's dog. Bill orders Jack to bring the dog in quickly, but Jack refuses to listen because he is furious at him for killing Nancy, so he attacks him and starts beating him. At the same time, the police struck them down using the dog. Jack jumps out the window and lets them know Bill is here, but Bill pulls him back inside. An officer tries to shoot him. Bill grabs Oliver and plans to escape, knowing the police won't fire if he has Oliver. He takes him out the window. Brown stops the officer from shooting at them. The madman Bill threatens to throw Oliver down. Then they met and climbed to the roof and crossed to the other side, but the police were still behind them. Bill reaches a dead end. He grabs this lever and wraps it around his neck to cross to the other side. He carries Oliver and crosses to the other side safely, but he gets distracted when he sees the dog. He accidentally hangs himself and dies. Oliver cannot bear to watch. After that, Oliver went back to live in Brown's house. Brown's friend tells Oliver that he is a very good boy while Fagin ends up in prison. Oliver is sad and wants to see Fagin. Brown takes him to visit him in prison. Fagin is in a state of madness because he is facing the death penalty. Oliver tells him, "You were a good person to me and treated me like your son." They hug each other. Fagin tells him where he hid his valuables. He tells him that these possessions are rightfully yours. Oliver wished Fagin would be acquitted. He asks the officer to let Fagin go, but of course that is not possible. He leaves the cell crying. All the townspeople gather to watch Fagin's execution, but Oliver cannot bear to watch that sight. He lives with Brown. The fate of Jack and the rest of the children remains unknown. And here we have reached the end of the episode.